You know the feeling when you see two old friends back on screen and it just feels right. That's how it felt seeing the Boston Boys, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, back together in The Rip on Netflix. This is Parallel Frequencies. I am Just Blane. She is Coco. You are the Freaks. What's up, Coco? How are you over there? You got a cat with you right there. What's going on there?
I got one of my cats. She's camera shy. She doesn't want to be on camera.
She got heavy. She got real heavy.
Don't touch me. Just want to sleep.
Yeah. No, I wish I was a cat sometimes. Because that's
absolutely.
It makes me jealous to look over at mine and she's over there just napping
away. Not a care in the world. Just believes you deserve everything.
Right?
That you get. Absolutely. The next life I'm coming out back as a cat.
This past weekend we were together. We did a joint yard sale as a neighborhood here in Daybreak.
Yeah, it was a Daybreak yard sale.
I thought it was going to be a lot of work, but you know what it came down to? It was like, how much you want for that or how much you got?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the trick is you just have to not care about actually making money. You have to just be like, I'm just sitting in my yard with my stuff, hoping somebody comes and takes some of my stuff. I mean, and that's all it is.
Honestly, if you think about it, the worst that happens is they take it for free and it saved you a trip to the trash.
Yeah.
To the dump.
Yeah.
So, good time, though.
Freaks, Daybreak is the community, not the city, but neighborhood we live in called Daybreak.
Yep.
It's real, just high level. But I actually just nabbed the handle for a new Gmail account, Gmail email that is witchofdaybreak@gmail. That's my.
Look at that.
I don't know how I got it, but I nabbed it. So
there you go.
I'm officially, according to Gmail.
If the freaks out there want to get in touch with Coco, she just gave you her email address right there.
That's one of my email addresses now.
Yeah. What was it? The Witch of Daybreak.
Gmail. No numbers even. I didn't need to be like number 4 or something. I am the official Witch of Daybreak.
Witch of Daybreak.
I kind of just did it for fun to see if I could get it. But
you got it.
Know. So.
Well, on the other side of witches there's some ghosts. And that's my terrible segue just to talk about this right here. Because I ran across this over the weekend as well. Steven Spielberg is bringing back Casper the Friendly Ghost, but it's going to be a darker, live-action Disney Plus series.
Ooh.
What do you think about this, Coco?
I want to see Casper dark. I want to see that next level. Because, I mean, it was all fun and everything, and the Christina Ricci movie is in my top, Halloween favorites with the kids.
Yeah.
But I want to see,
how dark? Yeah, I wonder, how dark are we talking here? We talking, what are we? I wonder what they're going to go for. I'm ready for that.
Think about it, the subject matter of the story of Casper, at least the way that they presented it in that movie, is pretty dark. It was just of played off really cartoonish and funny, kind of from the original cartoon, right? But it's about a kid who died.
Yeah, and they made it less scary by casting that heartthrob back in the 90s or whatever. Remember that? Who was that guy's name?
Can't remember.
Oh my God.
I do remember being so cute though. I was like,
somebody out there, the freaks will know.
Get it?
Yeah, the freaks will remember who played Casper. Tell us in the comments. I want to see that.
Yeah.
Today's Movie Monday, and this movie snuck up on me for sure.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was just going to be another one of these heist movies. Same old thing. The formula. Nuh-uh. Not only do we get to see some incredible chemistry between Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Seriously, if they're the only two people left in Hollywood who can actually just talk to each other, they're not. That's what they're doing. They seem like they're just. We're a fly on the wall watching them do their thing. Is what it is. And there's not a lot of duos out there that can make a movie like this together, and it's gritty, it's raw, and full of twists and turns, and that's what I liked. What was your initial thoughts here?
The overall themes, when I watching this movie, when you're kind of thinking about people who have a history together and people who have a backgrounds that are even vastly different, like, you know, not always coming from the same place. And I kind of think of this as Ben Affleck and Matt Damon personally. I mean, they're clearly great friends, have been friends for a long time. They've lived very different lives. They have a different they have a kind of a different backstory, but they have this mutual respect for each other and understanding, you know, about each other that I think comes through. But this movie really reflects this idea of trust.
Yeah.
And, you know, man, to have pulled off in the way that it did, by the time you get to the end of the movie and things are revealed that you're like, whoa, that was happening the whole time, I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
It brings up the level of, like, there had to have been so much trust between these characters, these people that work together.
Yeah.
High stakes environment.
The title alone, The Rip, it's not, like I said, just a heist movie. It's a vibe. It's about the things we tear apart and the things that tear us apart. The Rip. Matt Damon, he plays this guy who wants out. Classic Matt Damon. Ben plays the guy who drags him back. Classic Ben. Really. But why does this dynamic always work? Why? Like, I don't know. Is it the emotional connection that we have? Like, what's going on that works so well with these two dudes getting together, you know?
Yeah, and there's almost this, like, underlying hostility, too, in it. Even though there's the camaraderie or the brotherhood feeling about it, it's still this, which plays out and plays into the story really well. But I don't know if it's just me and my overly sensitive Pisces self, raised in the Midwest, me, but and maybe that's the comparison to seeing like the Bostonian.
Yeah.
Way of life, you know, it's kind of like when you meet a New Yorker and you're like, wow, you're a little harsh. You're like, are you mad at me? But they're not. That's just how they are. Maybe it's a little bit of that's coming through, or the way that I feel about that. But
yes, and the hardness of being a cop, I guess, too, because that gives them an extra layer. It seems like, and you know, we've got, like I said, the Rip. It's not just a location in the movie. It's not just where they're at. It's so much more than that. And it's the rip, the tear between everything. You know, it's the divide in classes even is really shown. And you know, it's that gap between having everything and having just enough to lose, and that's where we see a lot of this action happening here. And Ben Affleck's doing that thing again, the weary, heavy-shouldered performance where he looks like he hasn't slept since he made The Town.
Yeah. He's honest, like that meme of himself that we all saw where he's outside smoking a cigarette and he looks like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Exactly. But
his character here.
It's very honest and vulnerable. Even though he's got a hard shell, he's still vulnerable. And Matt Damon, he's really the anchor in this. He's the guy that thinks he's smarter than everybody else, you know, until the situation starts hitting back. Then he's like, wait a minute. Maybe I don't know everything going on. But it was a thrill. This whole movie is a thrill. And you think you know, but you don't. And I like those kinds of movies that keep you kind of guessing all the way till the end. And Tiana Taylor crushed it too. Let's not forget about her.
We gotta talk about her.
Yeah, go ahead.
The character that she plays, the level of, and I want to ask you, how much do you think that that's realistic in a situation like this? Had they, you know, found a sum of money in a drug bust like this, that's like way over and beyond what they expected to see, the amount of it, and the level of danger. Like, they're going through these protocols of having to count the money and having to, you know, collaborate with someone else who counted the money, and all these like little procedures and rules that they're following. But as they're doing that on location, there's also this sense of like, we're going to be busted in, and like someone's going to open fire on us at any minute. And that's where I feel like Tiana Taylor playing that role is sitting in the seeping in the danger of it.
Yeah, she was in the trenches. She's down in the trenches with them. And And yeah, but you're right. And here's the thing too. Yeah, in a real situation like that, and you start thinking about that, you're like, oh my god, like what would happen? I'm not a cop, never been, never gonna be, don't know. But the thing is, you can relate to it because you start thinking about that amount of money.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're a cop or the cartel. Money's money. And they're coming to get it. And once you hit a certain number, it does get dangerous. And that was the thing about it that had the high tension the whole time. You don't know if the good guys are bad because of the money. And you don't know if the cartels come. Yeah, like it would be nerve-wracking to walk in there and instead of getting the $200K, you found $11 million. That's gonna perk some people up.
Changes a few things.
It will. Money changes things.
Yeah.
Think about it. Money changes a lot, and even when it comes to legalities, money starts blurring those lines. And I think it's probably realistic what you saw in this movie.
Yeah. Even the conversation when they have it at one point with the leader of the cartel where they're like, is it you? No, it's not me. Is it you?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is interesting to have like a known criminal relationship with the police where it's like, okay, we're not busting you today.
Exactly.
But we're having a conversation, right? I found that to be really interesting and wondering, what is that really like? It reminded me when I used to watch Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that show? And I was just like, how close is this actually? I think of it very, very, I'm really naive when I think like, the police are always the good guy. And, you realize like, well, actually, why? Maybe they're not. Maybe sometimes they're not. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. It comes down to police are still human.
Right.
A human being can be, led the wrong way if it's appealing enough. When the risk and the reward are not the same anymore, it's $11 million is a lot of money. And they know that. And when the cartel starts saying, well, we don't even care about it, you guys can have it, then that throws a whole other monkey wrench into the game. Where it's like, oh, that's no big amount for us to miss. Because then it's like, well, now what do we do? Do we run with this money? Mm-hmm. Who knows? I hate to think this way, but I think there's a lot of mistrust or maybe just not fully trust in law enforcement between law enforcement. Like, I don't think that you spill all the beans to everybody in there because you don't know who's dirty. Because once again, people are human. The cops are human. There are dirty cops, just like there's great cops. Sorry, there are. There's good and bad of everything, and I just think that line gets real blurry when you start talking about massive, life-changing amounts of money.
Yeah. You're making me think, too, about all of the TV shows and movies I've ever seen where authorities are investigating something, and it's like different departments of the same police or different police departments or even like FBI versus the local law enforcement.
Yeah.
When any of that question comes into play in an investigation of any kind, there is this kind of like pee on the borders kind of feeling. And I've always kind of wondered about that. I've always wanted to ask someone who's actually in law enforcement, like, what is that? Yeah. I mean, is the goal to solve the crime and find the guilty part? Aren't we all on the same team if that's what we're trying to get? But why is it this whole question of like, who has jurisdiction and like, what is that? Is it really just as simple as like a pissing contest? Is it really that egotistical? Or just like, I'm in charge here. I'm leading this investigation. No, it's my department. Like, what is that? I don't know.
That's a great perspective. Great point out because, who cares who's leading the thing as long as it gets done, right? Like that's what it should come down to.
Help each other out. I want to know, like, if there's freaks out there who are in law enforcement, like they can like explain it to me in ways that you would explain it to a 5-year-old, because that's about my level of understanding on how all this works.
Yeah.
Let me know. I want to know what the deal is with that. Or does that really happen? Is that just in movies? Maybe it's just not realistic. I don't know.
Yeah. And let us know about the police all around. Like, if you're a policeman out there and you're a freak, let us know. How accurate is this? Also, freaks out there, I got something for you. Like, you don't have to think about it as just a policeman. We can relate to everybody. Let's say, think about it. If your oldest, messiest friend called you at 3 a.m. with a plan that sounded 10% brilliant and 90% illegal, are you going to pick up that phone and go meet him?
And for how much money would it take for you to cross the line into yes?
People always say, oh, no amount of money can change me. Yeah, it will. If you stumbled upon $11 million, it will change you right there on the spot, just like it did all the characters in the movie. Just like it did Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Tiana Taylor, all of them. And this movie seriously was a thrill ride from beginning to end. It was one that I put on late at night, ended up watching the whole thing because I was like, oh, didn't mean to get myself into this, you know? Because I thought it was just going to be that same heist movie formula that we've seen time and time again.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, lots of twists and turns, a lot of like ethical questions about, you know, what would I do in this situation, or how would I feel, or would I be suspicious too if I'd seen, you know, certain conversations happening in whispered corners and, you know, the kind of things that you see in this movie, and then the suspicion maybe, you know, coming back around full circle. It's just interesting to see all that dynamic happen. And then the big climax, the chase at the end, and the guns, and the, you know, obviously super exciting and fun to watch.
But you know what? You just touched on something right there. The whispering in the corners. Like, that's, to me, in a world of CGI and multiverses and all this other shit going on, watching two guys argue in the kitchen feels like the most rebellious thing you can put on a film these days. You know? So that's... I love that you pointed out that. Mm-hmm. Now it sticks out to me, those moments like that. There's a scene around the 40-minute mark, and it's just a conversation about regret. It's the most human thing I've ever seen on a film, at least in the last year or so. And it felt real. It felt like it wasn't scripted. And when you make a movie and it doesn't feel scripted, that's you've done something. Mm-hmm. Like I said, they didn't need all this crazy other stuff going on to tell a great story that the viewer, at least for me, I didn't know what was going on. I thought I did, but at some point when you're sitting at home guessing you know the answers, you just give up. You're like, nah, I'm done. I'm just going to ride it out and watch, you know? That's what I do. So tell me your final thoughts on The Rip.
Ooh. First of all, just like a fun and entertaining movie. Just fun. It's one that, all those twists and turns and second guessing and stuff is just really fun and entertaining to watch. But, you know, digging in deeper and being able to look at, like, each of these characters' examples that they offer, like, what am I trying to say? Different perspectives. Perspectives on this one event they find themselves all wrapped up in. Even the girl that, whose house it was that they found the money, I mean, you kind of get another perspective in that she could just be seen as like this, oh, you're hiding something, you've got information, there's money. But when they dig a little deeper, realize she's terrified for her life.
Yeah.
I think she would have walked out of there without a dime and been just happy enough to live. And you get that as you go along. So, like, if they had been short-sighted or a little too one-dimensional, they would have just seen it like, you're a criminal, you're doing something wrong, you're not telling the truth, you're lying. So, you know, wrapping her up in all of this. But truthfully, I think that there were characters, and by the way, I think that most of them were women, that were willing to be like, let's like bring her under our protection and let's make sure we all get out of this alive, right?
Exactly.
And I appreciated that different perspective.
Desiree Lopez Molina playing Sasha Callie. Incredible. I gotta give her a shout out because she crushed that role and did become multidimensional, I guess.
Yeah, because she did kind of play it like I'm just a badass, like I'm gonna lie to these cops, you know, whatever. But then the subtext, the subtle subtext behind that was like, I'm scared and I just want to get out of this alive. Right.
Yep.
And I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. What a movie.
Yeah.
Gotta check it out. Netflix, The Rip, it's been out for a little while. Still popular. Still one of their top most watched movies at the moment. Love to hear from the freaks out there if you enjoyed this movie as much as we did. I wasn't expecting. I didn't have any expectations really going in, other than I knew I was going to see Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and I'm like, all right, let's check this out.
Worth it for that.
What can go wrong here? And it didn't. It was all a great movie. So make sure you check that out. What do we got coming up later this week?
Yeah, we're going to be doing another Top Tier Tuesday. So instead of Tube Tuesday tomorrow, we are going to be talking about Marty Supreme, which was another movie mentioned quite a few times in the Academy Awards this past
Timothy
Oscars.
Chalamet, the ping pong legend. This movie, oh man, get ready. Get ready,
I'm
guys.
excited to get into that and talk a little bit about that and like what makes that one worthy of the top tier movies. We have Wednesday coming up too, and that's going to be the Scream movies.
Oh, goodness.
So you don't want to miss Wednesday this week.
I can't forget, I got to shout out, Marty Supreme is on HBO now. It's on HBO Max.
Oh,
you can go watch it right there. So there's a streaming service that's carrying it. Scream 7, if it's not out on Paramount Plus yet, it should be. All the other Scream movies are. I just recently watched those, so I can't wait to dig into some Ghostface, some David Arquette.
Yeah.
Love David Arquette. All the stars of the movie. But yeah, that's going to be... So Wistful Wednesday, that's Scream. Trailer Park Thursday, and what's coming up on Friday?
And on Friday, we're doing Mike, Nick, and Alice.
My gosh, yes. What a fun trip that movie.
Is that out on Hulu? Where did I see that?
Yep, it's on Hulu.
Okay,
that's a great flick right there. You guys get ready. It's an action-packed week right here. We're going to keep it up. I am just Blane. She is Coco. You are the freaks. This is Parallel Frequencies. We'll see you on the other side.